Even progress through their relationship, that won't look the same as when you first
Oh
started
my
their
God.
relationship.
Make the good times great. So when the hard times come, you have something to hold on to. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode here at Cafe Negro Show. I'm your host, George.
And I am Adriana.
We're starting a new season. This season is called
The
Summer
Summer
Reset
Reset series.
Series. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more. It is the easiest way that you guys can support what we're doing and help us get to some more people out there with this message.
Yes, we're so excited about this series. But before we started, we just want to recap uh, a little bit of our January series, which was how to be spiritually aligned with your partner, with your spouse, just setting those goals and starting to plan for the next season. So we talked about how to establish different marriage goals, how to pray more together with each other, how to communicate better, just how to be intentional because that's so important in the relationship. And we actually even did a challenge in January, a
The
couples
January
challenge. Yes, the
challenge.
January challenge, which was really good. And we talked about how maybe praying together it could be a little awkward if it's not something that you do with your spouse. But the more you do it, the better you will get at it. And also, we talked about knowing the spiritual goals of one another, which is kind of a question that doesn't necessarily come up all the time. But yeah, and again, it's just important to know each other like that, not only in the personal level, but also spiritually, so you can grow together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
It
great.
was a great season, especially beginning with us. I mean, we grew a lot in that season, and there was a bunch of couples that are listening now and watching that also joined us in the January challenge, where we, like you mentioned, challenged ourselves to some new habits, perhaps, and we were sowing seeds.
Right.
Seeds. Sorry, we were sowing seeds in January, and so that's why we have come up with this new session because we want to enjoy what you've cultivated. And now, whatever you've been sowing in January, we're now entering to the season where, whether good or bad, you're going to start seeing a lot of those results if you have not seen them yet.
Yes, we want to see where everybody's at, right? Like, some people like their New Year's resolutions, right? We talked about some people follow through, others maybe fall a little bit short. So we want to see where everybody is at and just talk a little bit more how to come back and stay on track.
Yeah, so summer represents a few different ideas. So summer is a time where you're probably, like I said, you're gonna be seeing some fruits, you're gonna be seeing growth. Summer's warm. There's a lot of
Yeah.
enjoyment, and there's also a lot of preparations coming up, especially for those of us that are parents. Summer means a lot of changes in that new season.
Yes, the kids will be home, the routine will change a little bit, and that's when you can see if what you cultivated previously is gonna take effect into the summer season.
And so let's go. What is it with the seasons that's so amazing? I guess just kind of going into the script that we were talking about. First of all, I think we have to understand that God created the seasons, right?
Right.
And when God creates something, He always creates something with a purpose. As we've been going through life, we've understood that in our life, seasons can look very, very different, depending on the season, right? And in Proverbs, verse 6 to 8, the Bible says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard." Sluggard, call them lazy. Consider its way and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. So, without having to go to university, without having to read the most amazing book or listening to
Look
the
at the
most
ants.
amazing speaker, just and what I'm saying is like ants don't have access to all that knowledge
Yes.
or all wisdom that we sometimes seek. they have that understanding. It's already in our nature to
That's
understand.
amazing if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of ant farms outside, and I know you get rid of them, and I feel like in a day, they're already back building the ant farm. But yeah, but it's so important, like you were saying about to understand that life is about season. The Bible literally tells us that, and so is your marriage. As we continue to grow in your marriage, we have been married 16 years, and we have, like you said, definitely seen how there are different seasons, and that's how you grow in a marriage, going through like different seasons. Like, you remember you used to call me when we first started dating, you used to say like, oh, I was your ride or die, because I was riding with you for the good times, but also through the bad times I was there too. And as we have progressed in marriage, we have been able to see, because how is a marriage, or any relationship will be, how will it be healthy, how would it be strong if the only times that you encounter are good times? No, I mean, you have to see that I am committed to you in the good times and the bad times, and I also have to see that from you.
And I mean, it's just really just going to the basics, right? Winter is coming. Hard times are coming. So in this first part of the conversation, we just really want to emphasize in not just having that knowledge, but be wise. Understand winter is coming. In our relationship from the very beginning, like we were saying, we had a clear understanding that as much, especially in the early years, right? Like we wouldn't argue. Everything was so fun, and not just us. How many of our friends, right, in the early years, they say we never fight. Oh no, no! I know people say that. People say this is hard. This is not hard.
Right.
This is great. This is easy. They're just doing it wrong. We figured it out, and so we don't fight, and I don't see us ever fighting. That is not wise. It is wise to know that there will come a season where you guys probably don't really like each other, where you guys are gonna be going through real life hard times, like where a gift, where a little hug, where a little vacation is not gonna fix it. Real life stuff. So the sooner you're aware that seasons are for real and they are coming, just be prepared.
Yes.
You
So
don't
if
need
you
too
have,
much.
so if you are in a relationship where things are going great, amen. And that is
Amen.
amazing, amazing. Be blessed by that. But also understand, do not be oblivious to that. Those times will come. And are we gonna know what problems we have been through, things that we couldn't even have imagined that came up in our marriage. So
Definitely.
the only way to
Surprises.
prepare is to store in the good times. What do
Right
you
now.
store? What do you like storing? Are you storing like patience, forgiveness? There's just so many things that you need to invest in your relationship while it's good.
Invest in your relationship. Invest in your relationship. Such a big word because it's not just enjoy the good times because you guys just getting along and everything's new. But so my one of the phrases that my dad taught us early in the marriage, he said, "Make the good times great, so when the hard times come, you have something to hold on to." And that makes sense. So not just go nice enjoying the good seasons, make them great. Be intentional to, man. Let's store. Let's invest in our relationship. Let's make sure that we build some memories that are anchors, for when the winter comes. And do that now, like you were saying. Don't wait till the winter is here and now you're trying to gather food, but everything's dry outside because it's already snowing. The
Right.
time to invest is now.
Yes, and if you are going through a tough time in your relationship, through a bad moment, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because, like, when we have gone through things like that, when we get out of it, we are so much stronger. And I know that's cliche, but it's so true, because when you're able to go through, to experience something that you have never experienced before, and you put God first, and you're able to see how God brings your relationship through whatever circumstance that is, you do grow stronger together. We have definitely seen that. And there's been even times when you can recognize those moments, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I know this is gonna pass. It's just a season, and I can't wait for the good times, because I know when the good times come, it's so good.
That's so powerful, right? Look at that. I mean, the wisdom of respecting the seasons. I've never heard you say that. But definitely when we're going through the tough times, I remember the first time we started going through the rough times, it was scary. Like it literally felt like the end. And then somehow or another we got through it and grew from it. And then something else came that was even harder
Yes.
and different, something that we weren't even expecting, something that we weren't even worried about, because it was like it wasn't even in our mind to worry about. But things that another season came up, completely different new challenges.
And then you also go through things that we have gone through, things that you already have gone through, and you know how to handle it because you have that experience. So it's important to hang in there because, again, like we've continued to say over and over, that marriage is for a lifetime. So it is only a season.
Respecting the seasons and knowing what to do with it. Another danger with the season, and this is something that we constantly try to check ourselves, right? Now, of course, you guys are always seeing us on the screen, and we're showing our best side, to try to be motivational, and obviously not it's not a fake side, but it is the side where we're grateful for the blessings that God has given us. This relationship is amazing, and I understand that this is not the most common situation, right? But at the same time, it's not luck. It's that we really do try to be very intentional to understand how to figure it out, right? Um, you know, the seasons aren't only in every few months or when you guys going through stuff. It's on a daily basis, situation. Also understanding, like you said, if you're going through hard times, is a time to learn. If you're going through a season where you guys are at peace in your marriage right now, the difficulty with that is that you start forgetting to sow. You get on comfort mode. You're like,
Right.
everything's going good. We've been going on dates through the summer. We went this and that. So, now let's just, we can tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, and they were actually talking about that in church recently. They were having a marriage, I guess, series also. And the pastor said, he's like, some people don't want to invest in their marriage. And of course, I'm paraphrasing because they say that their marriage is okay, is adequate. And you
Like
don't
we're
want,
good.
yes, we're good. But the truth of the matter is that it can always be better. And you
Yeah.
cannot have that mentality, oh, it's adequate. We're not doing good. We're not doing bad. We're okay. But just adequate, that's not going to get you through the hard times. And again, there's always room to improve.
It's so funny because I feel like most of us guys, I don't know if I'm wrong, but let us know in the comments. But I'm definitely guilty of that, especially before we started taking the marriage classes at Grace. You were, let's go. It could be good for us. It's something. And our schedule was very busy. We were having a little bit of communication issues. Nothing major, like you were just saying. My mentality was like, but what do you mean? We're fine. We're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're not. I'm coming home. We're both working. It's fine. There's nothing wrong in our marriage. But like you said, there was definitely space to grow, and just I didn't want to. I didn't feel like we needed it. And it wasn't until we started investing into our marriage where we started having these conversations, being intentional on seeing what was really going on in our relationship, that we realized, man, there's a few things we could always be working on. Like there's a lot that we could always be working on to improve.
Yes, and that's why again it's so important to know the spirit, each other's spiritual goals,
Yes.
and also just to sow, like what you were saying, just to and in Galatians 6:7 to 9, it reminds us that you reap what you sow. So if your marriage, your relationship is just adequate, you need to sow other things so it becomes great. You don't want your relationship just to be adequate. And also if you are going through a hard time, you need to sow. You need to, what are those things that you need to sow? What are those things that you can get better at? Ask your spouse, ask your person, how can I be stronger for you? How can I be a good spouse to you? You know, how can I help you be stronger in God? How can I help you get closer to God? Ask each other those questions, because you know the Bible shows us, right? It tells us that the man should love, right, his wife just as God loved the church. The woman, is literally says that she should respect her husband. How is a woman going to respect her husband if he doesn't show her that love? Right, so there's just so many things that we could do to grow with each other. How is a man, how do you show me that you love me like Christ loved the church if you don't show forgiveness,
And
if you don't show patience? You know, like there's just so many things.
and it all starts with a conversation.
Yes.
You have to make time to have these conversations because this information is not just gonna come up. I'm not just gonna be like, listen, Ellie, I've been working on my fruit of the spirit this season, and I've just been working on patience or working on, you know, being more forgiving or etc. So I don't know about you guys, but that's not a normal conversation that just comes up on a daily basis. So if anything that you take from this episode is communicate, have these conversations, right? The spiritual conversations, the fruits of the spirit. It's in one of our episodes that we talk about this, right? When we started having this conversation, I wasn't even defined of like what spiritual fruits
We
I
didn't
wanted
know
to
how to
grow.
answer that. I didn't really know how to answer either, because we kind of think about ourselves, about our. It's so easy to have um, our own relationship with God and kind of like our alone time. But then when you talk with your husband, with your spouse, to talk about that, it's a completely different ballgame. But it's necessary, and I'm honest. I didn't know how to answer it either.
And then we started looking into, well, what are the fruits of the
Yeah.
spirit, and then we're like, okay, well, you know what, I definitely want more grace. I need to be more. I want more grace, more patience. You told me your fruits, and then now, not only did we personally as individuals understood where we would like to grow, but having that conversation with you, now I know that since you're aware what my goal is, I know that you have my back on that also. And so it's gonna help us get there a lot easier, because now not only am I praying to God with more of an understanding of what it is that I'm praying for, but I also have the support of my wife praying for me, and I mean that's just powerful on its own.
Yeah, so during summer, we know that routines can get a little bit wacky because the kids are home, and you're maybe spending more time, with each other in like a different scenario. So it's important just to make sure that you are investing in the marriage, that marriage is forever. And there is like a song that I really like, I told you about. It's called Lift Me Up. And it talks about, there's this line that says, um, I need somebody to remind me what I'm made of. And obviously it's talking about God, but it also reminds me of like the spiritual representation of a marriage, right? How when you are with your husband, with your wife, you all should lift each other up. And that is so, so, so important. And not only lift each other up, remind each other what they're made of, what they're capable of, because nobody else besides God, like, that's your best friend. So there's nobody else that really knows you better, that knows you better than your spouse. So it's important to remind each other what they're made of, and just remind them, because sometimes they
Yeah.
forget.
And not only that, I mean, and once again, these conversations are blessing us. Sometimes that comfort, right? That comfort where well, she knows I love her, right? Like obviously, if I'm waking up every day working for the family and taking care of the house, like how else? Like I don't need to say this all the time. Like she should know. That's the pride, right? But what you're not thinking about is that what if you're just neglecting that part of the relationship, where you're feeding her love tank, making her, be seen, making her feel special. And routines of like working and taking care of responsibilities, of course they're a form of love. But where you neglect, the devil attacks. So make sure that don't think that it's okay just because you're being responsible. These are definitely parts of the relationship that cannot be neglected.
Yes. So yeah, a woman wants to feel love. Like when I feel that you are showing me love, I just definitely feel much happier. A woman will respect her husband when she feels loved. So make sure, men, that you are making sure that you are showing love to your spouse,
And
and
don't
that's
wait. Yeah.
yeah, not superficially, but show her that you love her. It's
Yeah, I
important.
guess that's more like the romantic part.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, like if you were to tell me to do these things, then you won't feel as loved, and now you'll be like, well, you just
Right.
done that because I told you, right? And then, actually, this might be advice that is not that popular, but don't listen to your wife. She told me when we first got together that she doesn't like flowers. She wasn't a flower type of girl, this and that. But yet and still, I'm just like, okay, no, that's fine. Um,
No, it wasn't. He was don't buy me flowers when we fight, when we argue. Remember?
when we argue, correct.
Yes.
But even before that,
Yeah.
you used to tell me that you were not a fan of flowers. So okay, first I knew not to bring them if we did argue, yes. But then when
You don't do that, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
because I know that
Yeah.
you're like no, well you're not gonna buy this, forget it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole other conversation, probably. But what I do know is that I didn't listen that you don't like flowers and that, and I just bring flowers because I just think that it's cute and it's romantic, and now you are used to it. You know, you're not used to it, but like you do appreciate it. You like seeing
Yeah,
your
I haven't
flowers
received
coming
no
in.
flowers lately.
You know, that's not true. And then my son brought you flowers too.
Well, yeah, he was the
He's
last
your
one.
son also, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember I bought you tulips right before that, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see, she got used to it now. But anyways, but it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little thing that not only blesses her, but now our children see that too. They always expect little fresh flowers in the kitchen somewhere. So investing in your relationship. All right.
Yes, investing in the relationship because you want to enjoy your marriage, right? That's important.
Yes,
Enjoying your marriage.
we all do.
I mean, God has somebody, and like we have said before, God has somebody for you. He has the perfect person for you. That he's not a perfect individual, but he's the perfect person for you. So you need to learn, and we all need to learn to invest in our relationship, to sow in there so we can enjoy the marriage. I mean, what sense would it make for God to create this beautiful uh, partnership, relationship, to talk in the Bible, and man leaves his parents and unites with a woman? What would be the purpose of the union if it wouldn't be for enjoyment, for us to enjoy the marriage and not to be fighting all the time?
Mm.
God has a purpose in everything. He wants a healthy union. He wants you to enjoy it.
He wants you to appreciate and enjoy what you've sowed. I mean, it's basically what we were talking about, right? Like, don't get comfortable and just say, we're fine, we're fine. Are you, I mean, you could be fine, but could you be great? That'd be a little better, right? And so I guess in our situation, right? If I were to think about right, as far as what we are able to enjoy in our relationship, I mean, from the top of my head, I appreciate the respect that you've given me. Does not say that we don't argue or don't disagree or nothing like that, but maybe not only the way, well, especially the way you respect me in our alone times, but also the way you respect me in front of the world. That respect. Once again, we each value different things, right?
Right.
And so I think that sometimes we can easily forget to appreciate that, to enjoy that, right? And it's like we've been married almost going on 17 years, and yet and still, I there's nobody that can ever say, "Oh my goodness, I remember when she was like she just yelled at you in front of everybody," or God forbid threw something, that people were ever like. That's not something that is part of the character or the way that you presented it, but so that respect is something that we've been cultivating, right? That we've been
Right.
sowing into each other, right? By holding our tongues when we get mad, by holding our reactions when we get mad. Like all that is sowing into relationship that allows us to enjoy that respect that we have for each other, in that area.
Yes, yes. And I just want to say that the enjoyment as you progress through the relationship, that won't look the same as when you first
Oh
started the
my goodness.
relationship.
I'll
So
tell
I
you
just
what.
and I want to say because I am guilty of that for so many years, and I think I told you I'm like I just want things to be the way that they were. I remember those times. I remember how we used to enjoy that, how we were so happy doing that. But that enjoyment it will change because as you go
It
through
will
different
change.
seasons in life, you're gonna know each other in such a different way, and that enjoyment will be so much deeper as you progress through your relationship.
Man, that's so powerful. That's so true. And that's so real in our lives. For those that have been following us for a while, the way we met was at church. We were always active at church. We're always either leading youth, kids, or some kind of department. And so I remember when we first got married, it's just you and me, right? And we went from like working in individuals to like working together doing projects. And it was such an amazing season because together we were like a power team, with
We still are.
amen, amen, amen. We still are.
Hello.
And but so it was the first time we were enjoying that season together and seeing, wow, man, together we're like able to do so much. How beautiful, right? And then what happens? Boom, the kids come. What a blessing. But for people that are active in church that always is that, man, I remember it hit you hard because you were used to teaching and you had just started into dabbing into, just bringing the word
It was
at
a
church.
struggle. Yeah, it was definitely a struggle, but it
Yeah.
was a different season. And I did struggle with that a little bit because obviously I'm like, but I want to do this.
I
I
want to
want to
keep
serve,
leading this.
like I want to, but it's understanding the seasons.
The babies were brand new. Olivia, it's just, I mean, they have to eat every hour. Luca came right after. So just so much responsibilities, and as much as people want to help with the kids and that, I mean, obviously, there's a season where you're most needed, and I know that the beginning part was a little difficult, and you were just like, but exactly what you said. Why couldn't they just be the way it was? But I can tell that you've grown also because you were like, that joy is over. You instead of saying that, you said that joy will change.
Yes, the enjoyment. I feel like it gets deeper, and it's just like yeah, it does change, and because you get to know each other in such a different way, and it's beautiful because again, like your spouse knows you better than anybody else if you guys are doing it correctly, and that is a beautiful representation with our heavenly Father, right? Because I feel that I know you so well, and I feel like you know me well, but God knows so much more about us, and He wants for our relationship, He wants for your relationship to thrive, and He wants it to last forever.
And so, what are some tips? Some basic tips. We talk about this all the time. Dating. I mean,
Yes.
date night, man. It's so
Don't
important.
stop dating.
We got date night tonight. I'm so
Yes.
excited about that. It has been a long
And
time
it's
coming.
been a while, but
It
yeah,
has been
it's
a
like
while.
we have to be intentional. I have to start throwing the indirects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and then once again, I mean, you guys know how it is. It's not. You're not bad guys. You're not a bad guy for not doing everything you have to do. It is hard. It is. It is. It does take intentionality. Like it's not just gonna be a. It's not just gonna happen. You have to create that night. But date night, laughing with each other. Oh my goodness, that is so important, right? Like, and this is hard for us because we are so different, and our humor is very
I'm
different.
thinking about the jokes that you make like over and over and over. I'm like, oh.
But
Sometimes I'm like, I just block you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or just like,
Yeah.
or just if the joke is not funny, you could laugh at how unfunny it is. Whatever the case is, find a way of laughing together. That's a very, very healthy
Summer trips. Now that we are in the summer, this is a good
one.
one.
Ooh.
This is probably my favorite.
Stressful.
Yeah, it's just going on trips
Fun,
together,
fun.
getting out of the routine of being in the house. And again, it doesn't have to be nothing extravagant, but just getting out of the house, a
Out of the
different
routine, yeah.
scenario, like it'll be so good for the relationship. But it might take a little bit of planning, but effort, but it will be worth it because again, it is what you're sowing into the relationship. Also enjoying the simple moments. That is a big one, because sometimes as you progress through a relationship, through a marriage, you start taking little things for granted. You're like, okay, and sometimes you don't even think about it, and it's kind of like simple, like just having, sometimes we'll have like lunch together while the kids are in school, or breakfast together, like in our house.
First
And
watch.
no, but in the house we don't even have
Oh,
to go out,
no,
like
that's
I'll
true.
just
Yeah,
cook, I'm saying.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
those are simple moments
And you
that
can enjoy
sometimes
those.
we don't do it enough, but I'm saying when we do it, it's like it feels special. I just kind of took the time and just had breakfast in your home
And
together.
kind of going back to exactly what you were saying about the summer trip, you have to enjoy those small things because a summer trip can be very stressful, especially now that summer break is coming. The kids are going to be home. And unless you have any summer camp plans or anything like that, they're going to be home a lot.
Oh yeah.
So that does bring its challenges for us as a relationship, because now we don't have that alone time that we're used to having, and naturally so. I mean, it's just a moment where we're enjoying together as a family.
Yeah.
Our kids are younger still, so we can't like get rid of them on their own. They have to be supervised at all times.
Stay.
So we have to be even more intentional. Like I said, not only in the schedule, but in making sure that we enjoy the small things. Like if we're sitting down, I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you're doing like a staycation, right? You're at a hotel, it's stressful.
We do yard work together.
Yeah, no, that's not a vacation. But if you guys are at the hotel together, at the pool, whatever, and the kids are finally playing, and you guys sit down, and it might just be 5 minutes before they start fighting, don't forget to enjoy those 5 minutes. That's the whole reason you're doing it. Just sit back, hold hands with your spouse, or
Girl wants attention. I mean,
yeah.
guys do too, but I'm saying, like, if
Yeah,
I feel like I'm not getting attention, I mean, I know, I mean, I'm not speaking for every girl, but it's important to me to feel that from you.
even for 5 minutes, like in that whole game. But you have to be in the, sit back. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? And then just it could be anything. Talk about the menu, and just a little bit of just a moment. It's important.
Yes. Is your relationship feeling disconnected?
Here's some tips. Keep sowing. Keep praying together.
Date each other again.
Keep having conversations.
Pursue each other.
And just because you think your field is dry, remember, you might just need to water it.
Yes, believe that God can restore intimacy, peace, and that connection.
And don't get comfortable with a distant relationship. God has something better for you.
Yes, so the ants storing the summer because they believe that the future matters. Your future matters. So into your marriage like the future depends on it.
Understanding the seasons. In January, we spoke about sowing to prepare to enjoy in the summer. Now, in this summer, make sure that you enjoy what you've sowed in this harvest. But don't forget to continue to sow and prepare for the next season, which could be winter. Thank you so much for joining us here at Cafe Negro Show. We have this season going on and on and on the next episode. So
Yes.
subscribe, like, and share for more. Ring the bell so you're notified when
Summer
the
Reset
episode
series.
comes back. Summer Reset.